Hey,
Yeah, we're here.
we're live.
It's our first live hangout on air. How we doing, y'all? Got 0 viewers. We're learning how this all works. Oh, click select button to answer a question. We did already have a question.
Cool.
Maybe we'll get to that question.
Yeah.
We'll wait for some folks to join.
Until then.
So remind us, including us,
Oh,
how
we do
this
have
works.
viewers.
Like, this is
Yeah.
so people can see this, but then also people can join in with our call.
Yeah, so this is a live stream, and after it's over, it'll be on our YouTube channel. We could actually invite some other folks to be part of this live chat. If someone actually requests that they do that, we could probably honor that request for a limited number of you. We have to figure out how to do that on the fly, but I think we could do it. And yeah, but after this is done, it'll be on our YouTube channel, so anyone who missed it live can know what we were talking about. But here we are, Los Angeles, California. We're actually in the recording studio. Yeah, we've got James. We're still learning the names.
The French.
Oh, JB. That's because he's the French guy. Yeah. Yeah.
And in case you forget, it's on his T-shirt as well, just to remind you.
Yeah.
Frenchie.
Yeah.
It's reverse. All of a sudden, my arm's around you, Simon. Yeah.
Oh,
This is nice.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Getting there. So how many viewers do we have now?
It says 2,
Cool.
but somehow we have like 3 or 4 questions. So
So
I don't really know how that all works out. Maybe people are asking questions but not viewing. Yeah, we're getting some questions in, so feel free to let us know. But otherwise, we just thought we would take a moment. It's we all arrived yesterday. We're here by the nighttime and no major travel catastrophes. JB had to run for a connection in Paris, which
I nailed.
you nailed.
yeah.
I ran like crazy.
Was the door like closing?
I was the
You just
last.
squeeze
I
in
was
right
the
before
last
it
to
Slide
check out
underneath.
to enter the flight. So I'm pretty lucky.
But so yeah, we all made it, and we're staying with Andrew, who lives here.
I live here. I'm Andrew.
And the main purpose of our trip is to record our next record, and so we're actually sitting in the kind of lounge area of the studio right now.
Which is connected to the. It's very open concept.
Yeah, right. It's basically we're going to be recording over there.
Yeah,
There.
you'll see. It's a great setup.
Yeah.
But it'll be very cozy, like an incubator is for baby chicks. Nice.
But this is actually, interestingly, our first time ever recording together, like recording a studio production together at the same time. So it's actually a pretty big deal for us.
Oh yeah.
So we've had, I don't know, a couple dozen recordings over the last few years, but they've all been done like him in his bedroom and him in his bedroom and so on and so forth. So
Yeah, I think we've done probably about over 20
songs already.
already. Yeah, our album was 7, but we did a whole bunch of like random, the one-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually more.
And the jingles and everything. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday! Then we're at 50.
just checking some questions.
Coming in fast and furious.
Let's see.
If anyone has questions about our approach to recording and how it's going to be different, you can ask that.
Yeah, we can go
I kind
into.
of just asked it already.
Yeah.
We did get a question. I'm going to hit select. I don't know what it's going to do. We're selecting this question.
Maybe that's what they
Currently
see.
on.
That's maybe what you see from William Wilson, who's one of our esteemed patrons. Thank you. Hi guys, always look forward to your great songs. Can you reveal any of the numbers on the new album?
There are 6.
That's the number. We're gonna keep it a little.
We're gonna hold those cards close.
Not like crazy secret or anything, but we're not ready to say yet. But what we can say is they won't be songs that are familiar to you. They're not covers.
It's all original material. We will say half of the songs they're all arranged by us, but half of them are written and composed, the lyrics and everything by us, and then half of them are done by very close friends of ours who happen to be exceptional songwriters. So we've decided to kind of pair up and collaborate in that way, which will be really great. And some names you'll recognize for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. What is Andrew doing in California from Anne Miranda?
Nailing LA.
He's
Yes.
nailing it.
I moved here last February from Toronto, and I moved here for career reasons, and now I'm here for weather reasons. That's why I stayed. No, I just continued kind of what I was doing in Canada already. The variety of performing, production, and writing and arranging, and LA is a bigger market for that, so I've been able to get a lot more work and crazy opportunities to meet people that are, part of the whole Accent family, extended family, and as well as mentors and people that we've looked up to for years. So this is just where everyone's at.
Yeah. By the way, if you can't hear anyone, let us know. We can tweak the mic volume here. Just using the onboard mic. From Andrew Miller, will you record live for this album, tracks separately? Do you ever consider more than 6 parts for a Singer's Unlimited sound? What's the plan, guys?
Who wants to answer this?
I can answer that one. We're definitely going to take full advantage of the studio environment and venture forward and potentially do like chords that expand, depart from 6-part. But generally, our approach this time is to do as much as we can live. Andrew's been setting up all morning this amazing setup where we're going to be able to. Well, it's getting there. You guys can't see that. Just use your imagination.
You should see it.
The walls are nicely acoustically treated, and we're going to just be doing as much as we can. It's sort of live together, and because that's something that we absolutely can't do in our normal setup. So we're going to take advantage of the fact that we're all here. We're going to do, and then when we want to, we'll play around with additional production because we could have.
We might double some stuff or triple.
So,
in fact, we
hope that answers.
likely
A lot of stuff.
we because it's going to be different for us because in the room it's psychologically different for us to sing with each other because each of us will sing individually different and better suited to match each other. But also sonically it's going to sound different because we're all singing together and we're not in separate rooms. We are all kind of literally in a circle. And so it's going to be, you're going to hear bleed from other mics. And, when people say bleed, it's like, oh, you want to get rid of bleed. It's like, not necessarily. Some bleed is actually really good and it kind of helps to capture the bloom of the sound of the room and the sound of the
constant bloom.
As long as it's close together, as long as like someone's not like 10 feet away, because that's when you get a time delay and that's when it kind of starts to get phase issues. But when you're close together, it can really do some magical things acoustically, and it'll be awesome to capture that live on a record with the same, probably a higher standard of production than we've ever been able to achieve before. So
and also we have like better mic than we often do when we are all on our personal place. Thanks to Andrew and some friend.
We're using so this studio belongs to one of my best friends and my roommate, Ben Bram. He is the arranger and producer for a group you may have heard of called Pentatonics, amongst other things. He's worked on like Pitch Perfect and Glee and Sing Off and all that stuff. Anyway, so he's a huge a cappella producer, and he's converted our separate garage into a recording studio that he uses for recording and arranging and stuff like that. And while he's away for 2 weeks running a an a cappella summer camp for high school kids, we get to take over the studio for 2 weeks. And in turn, we're also going to perform and do master classes and workshops with the kids, which will be extremely exciting. And we'll probably talk more about that when the time comes next week.
Yeah. Good thing he's your roommate and best friend, because if it was like your roommate and your mortal enemy,
Your best.
you probably wouldn't let us do anything.
So again,
Interesting vibe.
we have a lot of other friends and people who are close to us who have really helped make this happen by contributing gear. Tony Shepard, amazing engineer, Pega Thomas, another fantastic engineer, and others. But this really makes it possible for us to capture our musical best with the best technology we can.
Yeah. Awesome. Great question. Keep the questions coming, y'all. It's interactive here. We'll put up one from someone who happens to share a last name with me, Rory Sanders. She also happens to be my mother, so hello. She's in Cleveland, but coming out to LA to meet all the guys pretty soon for the first time. So
looking forward to seeing you.
yeah. Fun fact: my mother shares 3 letters of her first name with Simon's mother,
Yeah,
but
which is
pronounced differently.
Ture, but yeah, Thori,
Thori.
Thori.
I'll call her
Thori
Thori.
Ingeson.
How many of you composed music for the upcoming album?
Simon has, and I have, and JB has as well. So
Yeah.
they're the originals.
The Europeans have
The Euro-
The Europeans, yeah.
composing.
Yeah.
I've done some.
He's done lyric writing.
I've done some
Yeah.
lyric writing, which is good because I haven't really had an opportunity to do that since being like a musical director for children's theater. And
Which this is an extension of.
yeah, this sometimes feels like children's theater in terms of the wrangling of everybody. So yeah, and then that takes care of about half the album, and the other half is Andrew was mentioning. We've collaborated with other songwriters to come up with material for us that hasn't been released by any other artists. So we're excited to announce that a little down the road.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see.
Although patrons will know a lot more of the juicy details
Yeah.
earlier. If you're not a patron, you might reconsider.
We'll get to that too.
Very subtle.
Let's see. This one kind of got cut off. Just got your Here We Are album in the mail yesterday. Oh, thanks.
Oh,
Awesome.
cool.
Even the
That
physical.
one.
Maybe let us know where you ordered it from. I'm always curious because you're in Norway. I'm singing in a Norwegian vocal group. And here's you've
Oh,
completed the question. I'm singing in a Norwegian vocal group. We would really like to use some of your arrangements. Would that be possible?
Oh.
Believe it or not, we are like this close, like maybe weeks away from being able to publish some of our arrangements. It's just going to be a small set of our arrangements to begin with.
4, I think.
To start. And we're doing this in partnership with a gentleman called Kerry Marsh, who is very big in the vocal jazz world. He's a very prolific arranger and composer. Like his score library is hundreds deep. And he's starting a process of partnering with other groups to have like featured areas of his store where it's like, this is a featured
The signature
signature
Yeah.
collection.
Yeah.
So Accent will be one of the first groups he's working with. The other is Groove for Thought, and I'm sure there are others. And we're really close to getting those charts available. Just so you know, because we get this question a lot, and I think all arrangers get this question, and all kind of professional vocal groups get this question about, can you send us your arrangements and things? And especially since most of our arrangements for the time being are of cover songs, it's not actually legal for us to just be like, here you go, and I charge you this amount of money, and here's the PDF. Because you won't have secured the proper license to do that. And the licensing process is not easy or cost effective in many regards. So the way that the publishers work on these things, because it's somebody else's copyright, you actually have to like predict how much your sales are going to be and then pay for the licenses in these like big quantities. Like, we think we're going to sell 1,000 of these. And if you don't do that, then it's like you can't really go forward with the licensing. So we've really just tried to be respectful and do the right thing. I think we could certainly make a lot more money, frankly, if we just were like, here you go. But I don't know. I think we're just trying to be the right,
Squeaky clean.
Yeah, really, because we're songwriters too, and we would want people to do the same for us. And I think the general public just doesn't realize that it's that complicated.
And it really shouldn't. It shouldn't be that complicated. There should be easier channels to kind of get this to happen. But that's just the way it works right now. But and one thing that could be done if you really kind of like some of the sounds that we do in the arrangements. Say you have a song that you would like to be arranged in that kind of style. You know, one of us could maybe be commissioned to do that kind of arrangement. So that's another option. So
Yeah.
we have the time.
I'm just answering an email.
Good timing.
Someone's trying to get in but having trouble.
Well, I
on
can take
mobile.
over your mouse.
Yeah.
I will say done. Thank you for the question. All right.
See any good ones?
Any ideas about the artwork for the album? That's a long way down the line, but
Yeah.
we have thought about it, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, we thought maybe we would keep with a concept that wasn't originally a concept. It was just the thing that we did first, which was on our first album, Here We Are, which was mentioned previously. We have like a little cartoon version of ourselves on the record cover, and we thought like that could be a nice concept to keep through our albums, where wouldn't be the same cartoonist or the same style, but like there could be different.
Like animated versions, like or like kind of illustrated versions of us, and maybe since this second record's a bit more of more of an artistic statement, perhaps the artwork could reflect that, I guess.
Yeah, and we'd love to entertain the possibility of our fans and listeners or people to provide that artwork or provide that drawing. It'd be really a cool way to engage our listeners in a different way, because we know people are very talented artistically. So
Yeah.
if you're interested or someone who might be, we're looking for somebody.
And if it's not necessarily even used on the cover, it could be used in something else. Like, yeah,
For sure.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, great. Asked if I'm from Cleveland. Yes, I am from Cleveland. And are we planning a tour? Yeah, most of the time. Yeah, there's a lot of things in the works. Right now, while we're in LA, we're just going to do one public performance at Vibrato Jazz Club, which we did in March, and it was a great venue. So we'll be back there. So if you're in the area or somewhere drivable to LA, July 7th is the date. But we're actually here for another reason as well. Somebody wants to talk about it. The Academy, or am I the only one talking?
Yeah, you already told me.
I briefly mentioned, so.
Oh yeah, you did.
So yeah.
That might have been while I was
just to
looking at
reiterate, my legs look that way when they're okay, let's just do this.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, my legs.
So there's this amazing summer intensive for high school kids based in LA. It's been going on for 3 years. It's called Acapella Academy, Ukapula, whatever, however you pronounce it. Acapella. It's run by my roommate Ben Bram and like another close friend of mine and fantastic arranger Robert Dietz and Avi Kaplan, the bass from Pentatonics. They founded it 3 years ago, and they take on about 80 kids roughly, and they have about almost 2 weeks with these kids, and they fly all over the world, mostly from the States, and they basically have the most life-changing, uplifting musical experience ever. I had the privilege of being involved a little bit last year with some of the recording and stuff like that. And these kids are so talented and amazing, and this camp sets such a good vibe about really what music is about and the connection and the feeling that it gets. And they really try and push all sorts of musical styles and stuff like that. So they've decided, Ben kind of put this together. It's the reason we're here is because they want us to be kind of one of the guest artists. So we'll do a performance for them, and then we'll do some Q&As as well as a couple workshops with them, and kind of just tell a bit about us and our style and what makes what we do unique. Because especially in the States, a cappella music is very synonymous with like kind of pop a cappella, where it's very much trying to imitate band music or pop stuff like that. It's not as big like that in Europe. I know in Europe it's like there's more of a choral tradition there. Yeah. So we kind of get to bring kind of what I think is a hybrid of pop and choral and jazz harmony, and learn these kids some 13 flat nines.
And our own just set of influences that
Yeah.
make our a cappella music what it is.
Yeah. Comes from so many places when you put the six of us together. And I mean, I find it interesting to talk to, the arrangers in this group about how they approach, because we're not this sort of pop a cappella group where like we don't typically have vocal percussion. We don't typically imitate instruments, though we've done both of those things on occasion. And especially with respect to like not imitating rhythm instruments, how to like still have a lot of drive and groove in an arrangement when you're relying on really other types of vocal production, I guess. So that's usually an interesting topic for us, using different rhythms in the background parts that kind of fill the role of like a rhythm instrument, even though it's not like we're trying to like imitate a guitar.
I think one of the best compliments I heard that about us that we got was when we did a house concert here in LA two or 3 months ago, and a vocal percussionist was there, a younger guy, and he just said, "Man, you guys had like such amazing groove." And he's like, "I'm a vocal percussionist, so we know clearly he knows what groove is." and he basically said, "You don't need someone to beatbox for you or anything like that's." It was already so like fat and driving in the pocket, which is like, thank you, great.
Yeah, because I think our arrangements are pretty dense already.
Yeah, there's no sonic space.
Yeah,
like for that stuff takes up so much, like you can't really hear the details of the chords, which is really kind of what our style's about.
Yeah, let's see. See if I've got some other. I guess we have some people trying to join that are having trouble, and maybe it's not so great for mobile, but if you were trying that, you didn't hear me just say that anyway, so that didn't help. Here's a great question from Sam Robson.
Oh.
Yo, what's happening, fellas?
Great question.
Hey,
Have a
man.
t-shirt.
Hey man.
What about a t-shirt?
Oh, it's just quoting the things, quoting Clone High.
Oh,
Anyone seen Clone High?
no.
Hilarious
See
show.
what they
Wow.
did to the water tower?
Usually Danny and I have the same quoting references.
They're usually Simpsons.
But not today.
Yeah, usually some.
Sam just,
blubber fly.
Oh, to answer your statement, not much, man.
Yeah.
Sam just released
Nothing,
a really
bruv.
cool Facebook video, which everyone should check out if you're friends with Sam. So,
Yeah, Sam's a
man.
good friend, sometime collaborator, and yeah,
Yeah.
all part of one community here. Let's see.
He's got that iconic hair.
JP,
Yeah.
meaning JB.
Yeah, it's JBs
Yeah.
to everyone up there.
JBs.
Why JB? I don't get it. Jean Baptiste.
Jean
Baptiste.
There's a
Jean-Pierre.
P. Plus, the P is silent in the name, so it shouldn't really be prominent. But anyway, we forgive you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm
How-
used to that.
How did you? This is good because we often get asked what's your highest note or lowest note, and it's asked a little too much. But JB, Simon, and others, how did you grow your falsetto or range?
Well, when my voice changed when I was
That
a
helped.
teenager, so back then I kept singing in my kid's voice, and I was really more relaxed and more confident with that voice. So I think it always had always been natural to sing in that higher voice. So yeah, and then I tried to listen to music, Take Six and stuff like that, very high voices, and try to match the sound and to trying to really follow what they were doing. So hopefully I do my best to keep that sound.
Yeah, I think a big part about us all trying to have very large ranges is it's different for us because of the way we sing. Like we're not necessarily like no one in this band is trying to be like a front person where they're trying to see who can like yell the highest notes or something like that. It's about being able to sing the notes that we want to sing in tune and so that it blends with other voices. So like whatever our highest note is for each person depends on the day.
Yeah.
And it's basically just as high as we can like squeak out a note with a straight tone so that it sounds good with other people. But if someone asked me to sing a song an octave higher than normal. Like it would sound terrible if I did it, but like sure I could hit all the notes maybe, but I don't know. The highest highest note or lowest note, whatever. It's just
Yeah.
a note, right? Like,
And by the way, I'm not the one singing the highest in the group. Now you know it.
Who? Oh,
Who
like
is?
you mean who can sing the highest?
Yeah.
Yeah, who? Andrew's.
Andrew, Danny's
Danny, I
good.
think Danny.
yeah,
can hit those
we can
notes,
all
too.
squeak some pretty high notes. That's what it
Yeah.
comes down to.
Yeah.
And then Simon work on that whistle voice.
Yeah.
No excuses. Yeah, we always work for
I think
improving stuff.
Simon wins the contest for who can sing the highest the second they wake up.
Here's a proper question from Sam. Are you going to record from top to bottom or bottom to top? I think you joined a little late, but that's okay. We actually talked about the fact that we're going to record together.
Back to front. I mean, yeah, together.
Yeah, side to side, kind of.
Sight is that. That's a great idea.
So yeah, not really having to make that decision. Although for some of the bass or maybe even most of my stuff, I would track separately, and we'll decide kind of.
Yeah, and the lead vocals.
Yeah.
We want
Maybe we will treat the background vocals as one block. So
Yeah.
we might sing it all together live, and then add the leads in the end and the
Yeah, imagine it's like
Some doubles.
like
Yeah.
4 or 5 layers. So you have your background stuff, which is usually the top 5 of us when we're singing backgrounds. Then we would double that, maybe triple that. So that's 3 right there, 3 kind of blocks. And then you'd have your leads, and then you'd have I have it. You had bass, and then you'd have percussion and
Extras.
like which and stuff like that, which could be claps, shakers,
sausage.
sausages,
Sausages,
spoons,
yeah.
just
Sausage.
Sables.
so yeah, it's like
Yes.
we're treating it that way. So things that are of like similar birds of a feather flock together. Colloquialism.
Yeah, but it's cool to have to think of this stuff like you do for any kind of record production. How you want to approach things. I mean, the other thing that we did was we did a bunch of demo recordings beforehand, so we could figure
Some
out.
of us did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of
Yeah,
them did.
some-
Yeah.
Some people,
We are still
I-
waiting for every demo from Simon.
yeah, he spent some time with his 4 children instead before spending 2 weeks with us. So
Not an excuse.
no hashtag no excuse. Hashtag bad excuse. And but it was good because it helped us kind of start to hear some things instead of just like a MIDI track or piano or something, and figure out tempos and play with different tempos.
That's a
and
tough
grooves.
thing.
It actually is hard
that's
to
been
do that.
something we've been struggling with. Is like 0.5 of the beats per minute of like what will feel good and
Yeah.
what will let us execute what we need to properly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we might change that tomorrow.
No, we
Yeah.
could, yeah. Within it's not like a lot, but just like little bits,
Yeah.
Gotta submit.
Excuse.
We'll do it live.
Well, this was really just kind of a quick, welcome to each other and to all of you guys, to give you a little window into what we're doing. If we do a couple more minutes if there are any more questions. But again, this will be available on YouTube after for people who missed it because we sort of announced on short notice. But we do want to make sure to let you guys know that we're going to be doing a lot more of this. It'll be less boring than this yawning here, but
Jet lag still.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
jet
flew
lag.
from Toronto.
Yeah, and I didn't sleep all night.
We're gonna do a lot more of these hangouts. It's not gonna be just like this. They'll sit on the couch and chat. We're actually gonna do this during some other, aspects of the process.
There's so many interesting things just off screen.
Yeah.
No.
It's a shame you can't see them.
Yeah,
It's a
you
fiery
can only
pit.
imagine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a.
But so we did this kind of initial one to just sort of show what we're up to and talk about it. But for some special patrons on our page at patreon.com/accent, you can, for a limited time, pledge to be part of these live hangouts, and kind of different from right now, which is just sort of a one-way thing. You'll actually you can talk to us, have like a video chat. We'll do on Google Hangouts or Skype. We'll try to make sure, to do at least one of these while we're together for, you know, any time zone that kind of works for you guys. But please, if you're interested in that, basically you just have to pledge at that amount by tomorrow at midnight, so June 30th, because then we're going to cut it off. So you can do this one time if you want, and then cancel your pledge, change your pledge. I mean, we hope you don't, but you know, we're sort of treating this as a very special opportunity while we're together to bring some of you guys behind the scenes. So if you're interested in that, please remember to pledge by tomorrow, June 30th, and then we'll send you some more details about how to get in, and we'll be really excited to chat with you. Perks?
Yeah.
What kind of perks?
Thought that was
Maybe-
the perk.
Yeah.
Maybe thank you on the perks.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, we'll be doing some other things as well, specifically related to the album. You can always pledge on for different rewards, but we're gonna put some other rewards for a short time, like being able to get a thank you note on our, you know, being thanked in our liner notes on the album, that sort of stuff. So stay tuned, because we'll try to do some more special things in the next month or so to bring you guys into it. So yeah, hope you guys will support, and even if you can't do that amount, even $1 a month really, really, truly does help us.
And even though we didn't get through all the questions, feel free to email us as well over our Facebook page, because we're pretty active over there, so we can continue chatting.
And we'll be doing this very frequently. So
yeah,
Every hour.
every
hour.
day.
Yeah,
Man, we get
20 minutes for every hour for the next
we're
week.
recording our hangouts.
yeah, right, exactly. And
Do an album of that.
just as the last question, since it was related to the earlier one about touring, there's a lot in the works for us, especially looking forward into 2017 and beyond. We're working with some representation in Europe now, so we expect to be getting there a lot more. There's already some things kind of like, you know, almost confirmed. So just stay tuned. We're really going to be doing it right. So this album is kind of the launch pad for all of that. So yeah, it's coming. And if you want us to come to your town or country, please help us find local promoters, people who run events. You never know what's possible, even just by mentioning, hey, I really want these guys to come. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's all it takes.
Festivals, schools, anything.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in and listening to us.
Yeah. And then
Crossing
Listen
my legs
to
again.
we-
What's wrong?
Andrew's legs.
It looks like so weird.
They're pretty muscular. I can't
Kinda
do
looks
it
like a-
backwards this way.
I don't know. Chicken
Might
leg.
be a
We don't
terrible
care.
weather, man. All right.
And on that note.
Bye bye.
See you guys.
Yeah.